Back to another Q&A office hour and strategy call. Today's a hot topic. We're going to be talking about social media, the activities that you're conducting in social media and kind of how it can benefit your business, but then also how it could also cannibalize your business. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm just going to check on my Facebook group just to make sure that we're streaming and everything is good. Why don't you guys let me know where you're joining us from? Let me see, go into the chat here. For those of you who are new, we hold these Q&A office hour and strategy calls twice per month. So we didn't do it last week because there's actually an extra week in March this month. So we decided to kind of kick it to this week. And Karen Reiser conducted her semi-private coaching call last week. So inside of our group, you have access to a coaching call pretty much every week. And this is just one way that we show up for you to support you in growing your practice and really getting the most out of, content creation and the process. Okay, let's see. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Hillary. Great. I'm not seeing it in the Facebook group yet, Hillary. So I just want to refresh my screen maybe. All right, terrific. Hillary, if you could just check to make sure that we are streaming into the Facebook group, that would be amazing. For some reason, it's not showing up. Oh, wait, here it is. Let me see here. Oh, there we go. Okay, found it. Sorry, guys. For those of you joining us on LinkedIn and YouTube, I do these live events by myself on site. We do have Hillary who is joining us to support us. So sometimes we have tech issues, but no issues here. We're in the group. Terrific. Oh, welcome, Andy, Nancy, Hillary. Great to see everybody here today. We are going to be talking about social media, whether it's necessary, whether it's not, and what are some other activities that you can engage in to help grow your practice and expand your practice without kind of being committed to posting 3 or 4 times a day, even 3 or 4 times a week for that matter, on social media, because it can be done. And it all comes back to strategy. So why don't we start there? If you have any questions as we move along, I am here to answer them for you. I can see who's commenting in the Facebook group. If you're going to be commenting on YouTube or LinkedIn, just drop in your name for me. That would be great. Oh, hi, Marcia. Welcome. All right. So let's kick off this call with a conversation about growing your practice beyond social media. We're going to be covering this topic in the beginning of this call. Towards the end, we're going to cover some announcements and some frequently asked questions. So for those of you who are members of our group, you're definitely going to want to hang on until the end here. There will be a recording that lives in the private Facebook group. So you can go there, scale your nutrition practice, and just answer a few questions. We'll admit you to the group, and you'll be able to view the entire recording there if you can't stay on with us all day. So I'm Jeannie Petrucci. I'm a registered dietitian, culinary coach, and nutrition content creator. I am standing in what was my private practice. I've pivoted away from private practice, but a lot of what I'm going to be sharing with you today and in the free resource that I'm going to provide you was learned on the ground and at the private practice level. So know that these are tested by me personally, and also, what we know works on the private practice level. So social media, the biggest mistake that I see nutrition professionals and health and wellness professionals making in social media is showing up because they feel like they have to. I circulated our Friday email, and this was the most responded to email ever. I've been sending it for like 3 years. And I think it just really hit a nerve because a lot of our members find themselves kind of having to be on social media because they think they have to be. And any of you who are quasi-active on social media, it takes time. Even with the Living Plate RX content that our members have access to, you still have to edit it. You still have to upload it. You still have to assign music, find trending audio. Like, it's a lot. And I use social media, I would say moderately. I don't use it heavily because my business isn't dependent on it. But social media is really now Instagram, Facebook, even LinkedIn really is like your business card. So I wouldn't say that you don't have to be on social media at all, but you don't have to show up in a really big way if it's not part of your strategy. We're going to talk about that a little bit. So the biggest mistake I see is that my colleagues feel like they have to be on social media. And that's not a good feeling, especially if you don't want to be there. So if any of you have felt pressure or you feel like you're posting on social media because you have to, can you just type pressure in comments for me now? Just type in pressure. Let me know if you kind of feel pressure, like you just have to show up. And maybe you're enjoying it, maybe you're not. But either way, it's a lot of work. So that is the number one mistake. And the reason why showing up on social media because you feel like you have to is a mistake is because it's not part of your strategy. If you've listened to my podcast for even one episode or two or several episodes, you know we talk about strategy a lot because everything points back to that. You need to have a roadmap for how you want to grow your practice. If part of your strategy is to attract clients to your practice using social media, then this conversation is going to be helpful to you because you can also engage in these activities, but you actually will need to buckle up and get busy on social media. And you're probably going to need somebody, an expert, to kind of help you do that. There are several business coaches. We're hoping to have some of them on the podcast soon to kind of support those members who want to expand their practice using social media. But know that if you make that commitment and it's part of your strategy, you are going to have to show up regularly on social media. And because you're, kind of in the healthcare, not kind of, because you are in the healthcare business, you're going to have to show up, like your face show up, right? Show up on video and show up with messaging and show up sharing with your clients how you're going to solve their pain points. Yes, we see pressure. Yeah, a lot of people. Hi, Jeremy. Welcome. Hi, Marcia. So if you decide that that's part of your strategy, then lean into that. If not, I'm going to provide you with some options today for growing your practice, kind of locally or regionally without leaning into social media heavily. And again, you will have to have some type of a presence because people will look you up, probably on social media, depending on where your clients are, but you don't have to post constantly, right, to attract people. So what are some ways beyond social media that you can grow your practice? First, I'm going to say, because this is the one that drove the most business when I first opened up my practice, is establishing a solid referral process. If you are just opening up a private practice, or you've opened up a private practice and you don't yet have a solid stream of referrals coming in, then this conversation right now is for you, because it can be a significant driver of business when you find practitioners in your area, regionally or locally, who serve the same people but in a different way. So for example, a GI physician, a GI practice, maybe you are a nutrition professional who focuses on GI conditions and serving that population. Maybe it's fertility nutrition. So you're going to want to connect with a fertility doc, which I did very deeply just with one doc, and she was a solid referrer to our practice. So do a little bit of research. You don't have to find 10 physicians or 10 gyms. Let's say you're in performance nutrition. You don't have to have that many referring colleagues, practitioners to you. Probably just 3 or 4 for one dietitian would be truly more than enough. In our practice, we had about 3 who were very, very active, and another handful who would send, a couple of clients per month, but it only took 3. And we had a binder. I forgot to bring it out here. I can see it right here from where I'm standing at the front desk of our practice. We had a binder, and each referring practitioner had a section in the binder. And we had a referral form, which I'm going to show you now, that they would use to refer their patients to our practice. And it really served as a prescription form. For those of you who are in the Living Plate RX community, this form that I'm going to show you, this referral form, is inside of your library in business tools. And we also have a prescription pad as well. So I'm going to add this here so that you all can see. And I'm just going to scroll down. This is a free ebook. The way that you're going to access this free ebook, Hillary, don't worry, I didn't give you the link here because the link is actually on Instagram. Let me just go over here and show you where you can grab this book. You're going to go to my Instagram account at Living Plate, and you're going to come to this post here. The number one mistake nutrition pros make creating social content, right? So this conversation that we just had and kicked off, right? Creating content on social media because you think you have to. And the reason why it's a mistake is because it's not part of your practice growth strategy. So you can just comment on this post, grow. So just type grow, and you will automatically get access to this ebook that I'm sharing with you. This is a 15-page ebook. It is significant and it is valuable, and you will be able to use every single one of these strategies like in real time. Like just pick one and go with it. If you're a Living Plate RX member, you're going to see this referral for outpatient nutrition services in your library. And it is editable. So there are ICD codes. Oh, Hillary, thank you so much. That link is perfect. So Hillary just dropped in the link directly to that Instagram post. Hillary, that was brilliant. Thank you so much. And just type grow in comments and you'll be able to get access to this form. Now, see what I'm doing here, by the way. I don't post a lot, but when I do post, I make the most out of the content on social media. Instagram and Facebook are where my clients are. So that's where I post. And if I'm doing an event, I will try and drive traffic there as much as possible so that I can, again, squeeze as much lemon juice out of that lemon, because I'm not particularly fond of being on social media. I do it because I need to show up, but I kind of control it and balance it with where most of my time should be spent. Now, as a private practice nutrition or healthcare professional, this sample referral form that I'm showing you here, this is gold. I promise you. Now, before you do this, we're going to take you to the next strategy for growing your practice outside of social media. Before you do this, obviously, you have to establish some type of relationship with a referring doc. If you already have a relationship or 2 or 3 with referring practices, I encourage you to get your hands on this referral form, edit it for your practice, edit the ICD codes to be appropriate for your practice and for the referring doc, of course, and then just take them through it. Go to their office and just take them through. This is how you can refer patients to me. I took this form to Staples and I had them print pads. They were about 50 sheets per pad, paid for themselves like 1,000 times over. So each doctor's office would get 2 or 3 pads. And if they continue to use them, of course, I would continue to print them for them. They would complete this referral form and they would have their admin fax it to me. If you are a healthcare professional, a nutrition professional, hopefully you're using an EHR. That's how we got these referral forms sent to us. We printed them and we put them inside of the binder according to who referred us, and we followed up. Now imagine if you're calling the patient to say, Dr. Jones has just sent us a referral for you to come and see us. We would love to set up an appointment with you to have your initial consult. That doctor has just conferred their kind of expertise and recommendation to you. There's like no selling that you have to do, right? Most of these people, I would say more than 90% of the people that we called did book an initial consult. We were an insurance-based practice, so we had their insurance information. We put everything on this pad. Does anybody have any questions on this? Jacqueline is asking, how to get doctor referrals is my biggest obstacle. Jacqueline, do you take insurance in your practice? I would say that is probably one of the biggest barriers when I hear colleagues say that. It's hard to get referrals from doctors if you don't take insurance. The secret there, and it's not really a secret, is that you need to find physicians and practitioners who also do not take insurance. So if you don't take insurance, and let's say you want to work with a concierge doctor, that's going to be key because those patients are used to self-pay. So you can find those types of practitioners in your area. I'm sure that there are some, but it really is going to determine whether or not you take insurance. For me, A doctor in my area would not even speak to me if I didn't take insurance. So once we became credentialed with the insurance companies, then the referrals just started to come. Jacqueline says yes. So if you take insurance, Jacqueline, there's absolutely no reason why this should not work. And Jacqueline, maybe some of the other strategies that I share with you today will be helpful in you establishing that relationship with the referring physicians. Any other questions here? Hillary is saying, don't forget to comment grow on that Instagram post so that you can get access to this. Okay, so establish a referral process. Have this form, get it together. And I also, in the library, provide you with the referral process, like what happens from the time that physician fills out that form or their nurse practitioner fills out that form, and then it gets sent to you, what happens and how do you follow up? There's a process to do that. Another benefit, and Jacqueline, this will be great for you. If you take insurance, sometimes the insurance companies will question you. Why, did you have a doctor's referral for this patient? I sure do. Just go to my binder, find the referral, and send it over to the insurance company. Our insurance biller loved this process because it helped us with collections on insurance payments. Because the doctor, I had their signature, I had their MPI number, and I had their diagnosis, the diagnostic code. So it worked out great for a lot of different reasons. All right. Now, if you have any other questions about the referral process or really anything that we're going to be covering today, and you're watching this as a recording, please make sure that you tag me inside of the recording and let me know specifically what you're referring to. All right, now we're going to talk about hosting breakfast and learns. Many of you might know these as lunch and learns. Here's what I've learned about lunch and learns. It's very common for pharmaceutical reps to bring lunch for the office, and pharmaceutical companies have tons of money. So these lunches were, big spreads, super expensive, kind of really hard to compete with, quite honestly. And so we had to find a different way, and breakfast and learns worked really well for us for a variety of reasons. Number one, they were quite affordable. We would do an oatmeal bar, just kind of like a buffet, where we would have overnight oats that were soaked, really simple, right? Overnight oats that were soaked, probably with some chia seed and just a basic vanilla base. And then we had all kinds of toppings, fruits like strawberry, kiwis, blueberries, blackberries. And then we would also offer things like granola and chocolate chips and nuts, things like that. We would also provide recipes from our meal plans. It was a huge hit. We brought mason jars, which are very inexpensive, and everybody made their own, and they could either eat it there or they could eat it, later in the day, but they could assemble their overnight oats or single serving overnight oats for themselves. That was very effective. That initial call, look, you're going to hear no a lot. You're not going to call 10 doctors' offices and have all 10 say, yes, please come to a breakfast and learn. But maybe of 5, 1 or 2 will say, sure, we really do need support for our patients, and we'd love to have you come in and share some information about your services. Now, once you get a breakfast and learn scheduled, like doing the food piece is really not that difficult, but make sure that you really add value to the conversation. Don't just go in, do the breakfast and learn, and drop off your cards. That's not going to work. The cards will end up in the garbage. You need to go in with just a brief kind of selling point, right? Your unique value proposition. For those of you who have not completed a unique value proposition, go into your library and get that done. We provide a lot of information around building your strategic plan, and the unique value proposition is one piece of that. So really know what value you're going to be bringing to the practice. What do these doctors want to hear? Every doctor's group is going to be different. For example, we did a presentation for a bariatric surgeon. Now, nutrition services are mandated prior to somebody having bariatric surgery. So one of the dietitians who worked with us in our practice, that was her specialty. And it represented quite a bit of revenue for her practice. And so this was really important to her. We did a breakfast and learn. We went and, they are concerned about very kind of key metrics, like what needs to happen as part of this nutrition counseling process. And we went in and said, we can absolutely support your patients with meeting these goals so that they can be approved for the surgery. And this is not limited to bariatric surgery. It really could be anything. So we also worked with fertility doc. I told you that already. The conversation there was very, very different. We actually did a lunch and learn because that was what that practice preferred. So it was a bit of a risk. We did, we made it here in the Living Plate kitchen and we brought it to the practice. It was like a quinoa salad. So still pretty low cost, but I knew with that fertility doc, she was going to fill the room. And we had her entire team. It was mandatory that they come to this lunch and learn and we talk to them. Their goal is to make the dream of getting pregnant come true for as many people who walk in their doors as possible. And they know that nutrition can play an important role in that. So we laid that out. We spoke to that, to their specific pain point and said, we can be your solution, right? So don't just go and say, hey, I'm a, dietitian or, a nutrition specialist or, whatever your credential is, a nurse practitioner, and I'm going to help your patients. You have to get more specific and address their pain point. All right. So first one, let me just share this. I'm going to add this to the stage again. Let me just make this bigger so that you guys can see this. If you scroll down, you'll see breakfast and learns. I actually take you through, hi, Cambria, welcome. I actually take you through kind of some strategies for breakfast and learns. They're convenient for the practice. So these were the kind of the benefits that we found with breakfast and learns. Very convenient for the practice because it's at the beginning of the day and it doesn't disrupt the day. Cost effective for you and people love it. It's very different. And then I give you some tips for success for your presentation. And again, by hosting these breakfast and learns directly at the physician's offices, you're going to foster an environment of mutual respect and collaboration, right? You're showing up, they're getting to meet you so that when they fill out that referral form, they know who their patients are going to be seeing. Oh, hey, Tamar, how are you? Good to see you here. Okay. So let's move on to, I'm going to share my screen here too, because this is pretty cool. Any other questions? We did referral form process, and we have covered hosting breakfast and learns. Any of that resonating with you? Jacqueline, any of those resonating with you? You going to do one of those? Let me know. All right, I am going to share another screen with you because this is really cool. I'm going to show you a case study. Okay, where's my audience window? There it is. All right. So this is a case study for the next strategy for growing your practice outside of social media. And this is doing a collaborative email blast. We did this pretty regularly with the health department in our town. And that was just so interesting, right? Like who would have thought the reason, and it just came to us because I met the director of the health department who happened to be a dietitian. And she's like, hey, do you guys do, nutrition presentations? We'd love to have you host for a year. I'm like, yeah, we can do that. And then we would also leverage her email list. Now, the health department has a very extensive email list because think about it. They run events and, health initiatives throughout the year. So they had a very extensive email list. So when we would host an event, it would go out to everybody. So that is one way to do some type of a collaborative email blast. Here is another, and I just thought this was so genius. Our friends, Elisa Scaputo and Ellen Petrosino, who are dietitians who used to work here at Living Plate, they now have their own group called Nourish and Thrive. They established a detox challenge for the beginning of the year. And they reached out to their referring docs saying, hey, we would love to offer this detox challenge, totally evidence-based. Now, they already had a relationship with the doctors. So the doctors felt very comfortable with them offering this. And they provided the doctors everything that they needed to send out this email blast, like the subject line, the content, the links, and everything. And they were the beneficiaries of sending this. Let me just advance the slide so that you can see what it actually looked like. So this is the email that they sent to the docs. I'm sure they gave them a heads up first saying that or maybe they called them or visited them saying, we're going to be running this challenge. We'd love to offer it to your patients. Here is all of the content. That's really small. I'm sorry. But you'll have access to this inside of Living Plate. This is actually part of the Elevate Your Practice webinar that we have. Hillary, if you have that sign up page, you can drop that here too. For those of you who are members, Elevate is inside of your library. So you can use a newsletter, email collaboration with a referring doc and offer something. It doesn't have to be a challenge. It doesn't have to be a course. It could be something really simple. Maybe you want to do like an email series, right? Offering recipes, 4 recipes to support your fertility journey, 4 recipes to get you ready for your bariatric surgery, 4 recipes that can support you with following a low FODMAP diet. Like it, again, whatever your focus is where you're going to land. Oh, Hillary, thank you so much. Thank you for that. So Hillary just dropped in a link for Elevate Your Practice, which takes you through not just that case study, but others as well. All right, so ways that you can grow beyond social media. We covered establish a solid referral process, host breakfast and learns for a lot of reasons I give you, doing collaborative email blasts. And then here's our next one, which is host community events. Now, what I have to say is not necessarily popular with some of my colleagues who believe that we need to charge for everything to establish our worth. And I don't, in principle, disagree with that. I think that obviously we do have to charge our worth and we have to be able to earn a decent living. But hosting for all community events isn't necessary to drive practice growth. Remember, I told you we used to work with the health department very closely. And now my colleagues, Elisa and Ellen, they work with our partner at the health department. They host community events. They don't charge the health department for those community events. But guess what? When you host a community event as part of like a partnership, you are going to leverage a lot of things. You're going to leverage their expertise. You're going to leverage their know, like, and trust factor, and you're going to leverage their email list and their reach. And for us, it went even beyond an email list. The health department will put out folding signs, like sandwich boards on like the highway in town saying, nutrition for cancer protection on Thursday night, come to the library, whatever it was. Like they drove traffic in a variety of ways and it worked. The very first event that we did with the health department, we had over 100 people show up. 100 people. We were prepared because people registered. And guess what? When they registered, we got the emails. So it's a great way to build your email list too. So you don't necessarily have to charge for these community events. Sometimes you can, like if you're doing it for a financial group and they have a budget and they want to serve a smaller group where you're not likely to drive a ton of business, then, maybe there is going to be a fee. And the way you determine your fee, we had this conversation in our Facebook group recently, the way that you determine your fee is to truly add it all up. Create a spreadsheet. You know what your value is per hour, and you're just going to start building out the time to plan for the event, to create the content for the event, to go shopping, because you're going to be doing a culinary nutrition event, hopefully, to do the shopping for the cooking demo, to create the evaluations, the follow-up, all of that figures into there. And it's very easy to come up with a total. When we did community events that we charged for, or for organizations like nonprofits that had grant funding, we always provided that breakdown. I would never just say, oh, we're going to charge, $1,750 for this event. Well, how did you get to that number is what they're going to ask anyway. So you might as well give them the details, create a scope of work in your Living Plate RX library. You're going to find your scope of work inside of your business tools section. You're going to want to create that. And then I also have a spreadsheet for you to determine pricing for these types of events. Is that making sense? So far, so good. Who's going to do what? We're halfway through now. Is there anything here that is resonating with you? Just type it in. Is it going to be an event, an email, breakfast and learn, referral? Tell me which one you're going to do first. You don't need to attack them all at the same time. Let me just pause here and say, at the beginning of this strategy call, I noted what the biggest mistake was, right? Being on social media because you feel like you have to. And the mistake is that it's not part of your strategy. What I see happening a lot is that we just spread ourselves too thin. If you're doing a little of this and a little of that, you're not going to get the kind of growth that you deserve. Right. So if you're dabbling in social media and you're dabbling in, community referrals, you're not likely going to find tremendous success in either one of those buckets. So make a decision, right? You can just do very limited work on social media and really lean into one of these. So Nancy is going to say she's trying the referral strategy. Andy's going to try a community event. Andy, I'm so excited for you. I loved community events. I just loved it. It was so great to connect with the people whose problems I was solving and our team was solving. They were always really engaging and really great, and show up to book appointments, because a certain percentage of the people who show up in that room are going to work with you. We took insurance, so it was very easy for people to say, yes, I want to come and see you. My insurance is going to pay for it. I'm coming. Absolutely. So if you don't take insurance, just make sure that you're getting in front of the right people. Maybe the health department isn't going to be the best collaborator. Maybe it's going to be a concierge doctor, right? Or a group of concierge doctors. That would be a better target market if you're self-pay. So you're seeing how this works. All right. So host community events. We're going to move on to something really simple, but I learned a big lesson about this. Optimize your Google profile. I didn't even know I had a Google profile. And I work with Stephanie Hoffenke at String Marketing. She's like, you have a Google profile. You have people who are giving you testimonials. You should really start posting them or getting them to post on Google to boost your Google business profile. The lesson is the first thing people are going to do when they hear about you is Google you, or they're going to look you up. That's why you have to be somewhat present on social media. They're going to either look you up on Facebook, Instagram, or they're going to Google you, and your Google business profile is going to appear. Now, if you don't have a business Google profile or Google business profile, that might be a barrier for them working with you, because they want to, we do it too, right? If you're going to a new city and you want to find the best restaurant in town, what do? You Google it. And if one has 5 stars and one doesn't even have a profile, where are you going to go? You're going to go to the 5-star restaurant, right? So that is why it's super important to maximize your Google business profile. Really, really easy to do. Make sure that you have a Google account, number one. And then once you have your profile established, I give you, let's just go back to, I'm going to share my screen, go back here, because I give you plenty of tips here. So here are our collaborative emails. Oh, I just skimmed right over this. Hosting community program. I give you lots of tips here. So make sure that you get access to this ebook. We've dropped the link for the Instagram post, which looks like this, to Comment Grow, so that you can get access to this. It's immediate access. Okay, so optimizing your Google business profile, here it is, right? So I give you a few reasons why I believe that you should optimize your Google business profile and kind of the steps to do that. You want to claim and verify your listing, pretty simple to do. Complete every section, give as much information as you can. Do not give your home address or your cell number, right? You want to make sure you have a business address. If you don't have one, you're going to need to buy one. And for phone number on Google, if you have a private practice number, fantastic. If you don't, you can use Google Voice, which is very easy to set up. It's essentially a phone number that is going to be routed back to your cell phone, but people won't actually have your cell phone number, so you can do that too. You want to make sure that you're in the right categories, add a detailed description. That detailed description should be part of your unique value proposition. Tell people exactly how you're going to help them, not, oh, I'm a registered dietitian specializing in GI health. That's great to know, but tell them a little bit more. You want to upload high quality photos. I do believe that social media is also part of your Google business profile. So just make sure there's some high quality posts every now and then utilize the post feature to share updates. And then make sure that you're collecting and managing reviews. It is incredibly simple to get reviews. If any of you have seen it, and if you haven't, I'm going to share this with you. If you go into a business, sometimes they have like a QR code to say, hey, leave us a Google business review, where you just scan it and you type in a review. That's pretty easy. What's easier, though, is to take a testimonial that you've already had, send that person an email with a link to say, could you please post this testimonial, right? Just give them what the testimonial was. If it needs to be edited, you could do that too. You could say, I've edited the testimonial. If it's okay with you, please copy and paste it to using this link to my Google Business Review. It takes minutes, and it's a really effective and simple way to build your Google profile. So really, really important. All right, any questions so far? Here we go. We're moving on to our next strategy for growing your practice beyond social media, and that is hosting free webinars. Now, free webinars are ubiquitous, so you need to bring a really high value free webinar for somebody to opt into it. And you're going to be speaking to your ideal customer avatar, generally solving one, maybe two really big problems for them pretty quickly. Free webinars can be hosted on social media, but you don't necessarily have to do the work. I'll tell you how that works. In my community, there are many private Facebook groups, but there are two that are huge and powerful. They're almost like action groups. Like if one group decides that like a stop sign needs to happen at this, intersection, like it's probably going to happen because that's how powerful they are. So we made sure that we connected with the admins of both of these Facebook groups, and we got permission to post free webinars. Now, if you're delivering high value, most likely they're going to say yes. And, it's not like a pitch fest, right? You don't want to be just selling your services, upfront in the webinar. You're really going to want to provide value. The benefit is that you're going to be collecting email addresses because people have to register. So you post the landing page inside with a link, right, and an image inside of these Facebook groups, and just watch the signups happen. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of people. That's how we initially built our email list here at Living Plate, just by posting in these private Facebook groups. And I would offer at least 4 per year. I didn't go nuts with it, but at least 4 per year. And it was just a 1-hour webinar that was a duplication of the on-site that I did. So I'm not really duplicating my efforts. I'm just providing it in a different venue, right? I'm just going online. But again, I'm not hosting it on my social media. I'm actually leveraging my partners. You could also, let's say that you specialize in fertility nutrition, and there is a fertility doc that you want to collaborate with. If they have a social channel or they have a private Facebook group, that you could even create buy a lucite stand and create a flyer for your event with a QR code so that patients can sign up for the free event. Lots of ways that you can leverage a free webinar to drive practice growth. Marcia is saying that she's going to work on targeting physicians with a referral pad. Wonderful. Jeremy, same thing. Yep. The referral strategy works. Solid, proven strategy. And, referring has been around for years. The problem is that the market just got flooded, and the doctor's offices, like, they get business cards all the time, people stopping in, and they drop off a stack of very expensive cards that you had, made on Moo, and now they end up in the garbage. They're not going to be handing out business cards, but just getting really specific, elevating your level of services by using those prescription pads and those referral pads is definitely the way to go. All right. All right, I think that was it. Let me just go back, make sure that I covered everything. Okay, host free webinars. Lots of information there about how you can do that. You can do a partnership and collaboration. I partner now with Today's Dietitian, so it's fantastic. I have offered webinars on my own before, but it's always better if you can do it as part of a partnership and collaboration where not only you are going to benefit, but the person you're collaborating with is going to benefit. Let's say that you're a performance nutritionist. You can approach a gym to say, I have this presentation that I can deliver on site. We can do it virtually, whatever you want. Let's work together and add some value for your membership, for people who are part of your membership, maybe even to drive membership. All new signups in the next 2 weeks are going to get a free discovery call and this free webinar, something like that. So just keep adding value. here you can see on the free webinars, you're going to hit up some online communities and forums, local partnerships. Make sure that you advertise your free webinar in your email signature whenever you're sending out emails. The referral program that we talked about, encourage your current email list and contacts to refer friends to your webinar. That's really great. And then paid advertising, if your budget allows, with Facebook ads. I have significant experience running Facebook ads, both locally and nationally, and they're very effective, right? They help you scale very, very quickly, but you need to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you can waste a lot of money. But know that you can advertise a webinar, for pretty low cost, and you can keep it regionally, people within a certain area. If that is like, if you're licensed in a state, you don't really want to get people nationally, right? You really want to get people who are close to you. Any other questions? Are we good? Type makes sense if all of these make sense. So we have covered the 6 steps to drive practice growth outside of social media, or kind of beyond social media. If you have any questions, now would be a great time to ask, because we are going to move on to some frequently asked questions that have been coming in. The first one, and you can just ask your questions. I'm going to just keep moving ahead. Okay. Caroline saying makes sense. Perfect. That's great. All right. First question. How do I offer content in different languages? We've had this question pretty much weekly in our private Facebook group, and also from partners. A lot of our community partners have been asking us to offer content in different languages. It's so easy now. It's fantastic. So I'm just going to share this with you for content that you create. So let's say a handout, an ebook. If you are a Living Plate RX member, you have thousands of pieces of content that you can use. You open it up in Canva, and you use Magic Switch. Magic Switch is a function inside of Canva. It's right at the top of the menu. I don't even need to show you because it's that easy to find. And you can translate it into that content, that file, into any language that you choose that they have available. And there are many. I will just alert you to the fact that when you change the language inside of the file, you may need to adjust the text boxes. Because, for example, when I translate some of our content from English to Spanish, Spanish has more characters. And so, the text box design wasn't working. So we just had to expand it, but it would truly take you minutes. And then once you have it translated, you're going to want to proof it. I don't recommend that you translate into a language that you're not fluent in, because you are going to need to proof it. So if you need to hire a VA who speaks that language, there are plenty of them who can proof that for you. And then proof the language and the content, and then you can download that and you're done. So you open it, you edit it, you download it, and you're done. And then you can use that for all of your clients. Nancy is saying, makes sense. This is so awesome. Thanks, Nancy. So nice to have you here. Okay, so now I'm going to show you something that I just discovered this morning. It's just super cool. So we've been asked, can we translate the meal plans into other languages? The primary request that we get is Spanish. And we have said, yes, we'll be doing that in the future. And as we're saying that, there is now a function that does it for you. So I don't believe that we're going to have to translate these plans, because now you and your patients can do it yourself. And I'm going to show you exactly how to translate our meal plans. I'm going to add this to the stage. I'm going to, here we go. I'm going to make this a full screen because you're really going to need to see this. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. What happened? I'm going to try it again. Okay, let's go into Living Plate RX. Okay. I'm going to share my screen here. Let's go to Living Plate. Oh, here's the meal planner. Great. All right. So you guys can see this now. Perfect. This is our meal planner, and it is in English. Excuse me. For your patients to view this in Spanish, in the upper right-hand corner, this is in Chrome only. So I don't know about Safari or Firefox. This is Chrome. Our software, as most software, works best in Chrome. So make sure that you open it up in Chrome, and then you'll see these 3 little dots in the upper right-hand corner. You click on it, and then down here, you'll see Translate. Click on Translate, and a little box is going to appear. I hope that you guys can see that. Uh, this little box appears and it allows you to translate it into Spanish. I just clicked that Spanish button. Now, the default was English. I had to select Spanish the first time, but now it just appears as an option. And now you can see that this meal planner has been translated into Spanish. The entire site actually has been translated into Spanish. So you're not seeing the translate button. Okay, well, the translate button is there. You can now, Hillary, can you see the translated recipe? Let me know if you can see the translated recipe. So the translate button is in the upper right-hand corner, the 3 dots. I'm going to do a tutorial on this for Tutorial Tuesday for everybody. Upper right-hand corner, 3 dots, press it, translate, and then just pick your language. Great. And you can see this is now translated into Spanish. Any questions on that? So you can translate your content and you can translate your meal plans. Both work really well. All right, thanks, Hillary. Okay, next, oh, Jeremy is saying awesome. Great, I'm glad that you found that helpful. The next question that we've been getting is signature plan, just like a lot of questions around the signature planner and use case. The signature planner, let's go back to the meal plans. I'm going to show this and I'm going to switch it back to English. I'm going to translate that back to English. There we go. I have apple wheels with almond butter. All right, I'm going to log out of this. I'm going to go into my demo account because this is for the practitioner account. So I'm logging in as if I am a practitioner. This is my dashboard. And here are my signature plans. This is a demo account, so I have a lot of them. Signature plans are plans that you create. Let's see, can you, oh, you can't see it. Let me, okay, share this tab. Oh, add it to the stage. There we go. I'm sorry. Here we go. We're there. All right, this is your practitioner dashboard. And here are the signature plans right here. Signature plans are practice level plans. In your practice, it is likely that you serve certain segments of a population. So let's just pick GI health. Maybe you specialize in GI health. You're probably going to have a low FODMAP plan. Maybe you'll have a low residue plan, a low fiber plan. Maybe you'll have a high fiber plan. You might have different pillars in your practice. So the first thing to do before you create a signature plan is to identify those pillars within your practice that makes sense. Then you're going to create signature plans at the practice level so that you can issue those plans to multiple clients. You can, let me just come to hello for a second. The signature plans are a scalable solution. You should not be creating meal plans for every single client in your practice. You create one signature plan or 4 signature plans. You issue a signature plan, you edit it, right? And then you issue the signature plan to the clients at the client level. You can still edit it at the client level, but you want to avoid doing that just like on the regular, because as your practice grows, or if you already have a lot of clients, that's not sustainable. You really can't do that. You really want to enable your clients to make the changes themselves, which with Living Plate RX, they have that opportunity to make changes within their nutrition prescription. So if you're issuing somebody a signature plan that is low FODMAP, they are only going to see low FODMAP recipes. If you are issuing them a signature plan that is anti-inflammatory, and we provide you with that definition, then they will only see recipes that we consider to be anti-inflammatory. It's a relatively low glycemic index plan. So signature plans, practice level, client plans, that's where you issue your signature plans. So when you issue, let's go back to our planner here. I'm going to go to clients, and this is where you issue your client plan. You just click client. You pick your plan. Now you can use one of our base plans, or you can select one of your signature plans. As you create signature plans, they're going to get added to the list. You shouldn't have a list this extensive. You should have our base plans plus maybe at the most 6 signature plans. I really don't see one practice, especially if you're a solo practitioner, having more than that. You're going to pick the access, how long you want them to have it. You can issue that meal plan to be available to them immediately, later, or when you're ready. Let's say that you do want to support the client with editing their meal plan. You want to just click when I'm ready, and then it'll just be in draft until you issue it to them. Hi, Lorraine. Welcome. Good to see you, friend. Happy belated St. Patrick's Day to you, Lorraine. Okay. So that is the signature plan use case. I just want to make that really clear because we do hear, like, we get tickets from practitioners and, like, I think they're creating, based on what they're asking, I think they're creating signature plans for every single client. And, while using Living Plate RX software to do that is relatively efficient, it's not the most efficient. Like, that's not the scalable solution. Create your signature plans and then scale them at the client level. Barbara is asking a question. Do you recommend signature plans be renamed? 100%. If nothing else, Barbara, they should be renamed just so that you can remember which ones they are. But also, you want to name a plan for your practice. So if the anti-inflammatory 3-day meal plan, you're going to want to name it for your practice. Barbara Barron, anti-inflammatory meal plan. Or if you're creating a signature plan for a course or an offer, you want that plan to carry your offer. All of your plans already have your logo and your profile picture with your credentials, but it is nice to rename the plan. Also, and Hillary, I know you're thinking this because we've had a couple of tickets coming in about this. When you create, let's say your practice has a very, distinct philosophy of nutrition care, and your signature plans are going to be relatively the same, and it's going to be modifications on our base plans. You can create a signature plan, the first one, get it to where you want it, and then you can create other signature plans using that as the base, right? So you're really able to customize to speak to your practice philosophy. Barbara says she has the Barbara Barron Mediterranean plan. Perfect. And the Mediterranean plan could either be the anti-inflammatory or the flex, because they both kind of fit into that protocol. Probably more the flex because there's more whole grains in that. Great. Thanks for sharing, Barbara. That was awesome. Okay. Next, Zendesk to Intercom. When you are in your meal planner, you can see here in the bottom right-hand corner, there is support here, right? The support bubble. You're going to click on that and a message box is going to pop up. This is going to be changing a little bit because we are transitioning from Zendesk to Intercom, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we are moving toward including, let me just come to hello here for a second. We are moving toward including tutorials on the page. So, when you log into a new website, there's like bubbles that pop up, say, start here, you create a signature plan, start here. Intercom is a super robust tutorial system where we're going to be able to provide you very specific instructions within the meal planner. So you're not even going to have to send us tickets most of the time. But even if you do have a concern or a question, you can ask it in that messaging box and we're going to answer you there. Now, we don't have the capacity to do live chat yet, but we do try to answer every ticket within 24 hours. If it is a ticket where that is a bigger problem that we need to solve, maybe 48, but that's going to be rare. We just find that Intercom is going to significantly improve the customer service experience. Now, Hillary has come on board with us to really help us with that. So thank you, Hillary. For those of you who have sent in tickets, you know that Hillary is very responsive and pulls in everybody who needs to be involved in resolving your issue. But we think Intercom is going to be the great solution to supporting you as best as we can within the meal planner. Barbara is asking a question. Can I add a few of my recipes to the signature plan? Oh, I love this question, Barbara. So this is a great question. Let me just post that because that's really important and is relevant to the next thing actually that I have up. Okay. So Barbara is asking, can I add my recipes to my signature plan? Yes. You can totally add your recipes. We have some practitioners and bloggers who have uploaded their entire recipe collection, and their signature planners only have their recipes on it. Now, if you wanted to do that, you need a substantial recipe collection. Otherwise, it's not going to fill out the plan. But yes, you can add your own recipes to your signature plan. The first thing you need to do is create that plan, because when you add a recipe, and I'm going to show you where that is there's a tutorial I just loaded this morning, Barbara. When you add a recipe to your recipe box in your meal planner, you need to tag it for which plan you want it to appear on. So you need to create the plan first, Barbara, and then add the recipes and tag it for that plan, because not every recipe is going to be appropriate maybe for every signature plan that you have. Does that make sense, Barbara? Hi, Stacy, welcome. All right, let me just show you where that new tutorial is, because it's important. So I'm going to share this tab instead. Here we are. Great. And let me just hide that comment so that you can see. I just loaded this morning. So if you go into your library, which, by the way, just share this tab again, you can get to your library here in your meal planning dashboard. There's a library button here. You just click on that and it's going to open up your library for you. So while it's not totally single sign-on yet, we're almost there, we do have the link installed here for you. So you go to your library. This is where all of your content is. We provide you with an introduction to the library and then some master classes. If you go to the Meal Planner Masterclass here, Barbara, you will see, scroll down here to the side. Let's see here. Nutrition facts, recipe tab. Entering recipes, here it is. Okay. Entering recipes into your dashboard using the Nutritionix integration. So we integrated Nutritionix probably about 4 months ago. Very, very easy. I'm not going to play this video now, but it is narrated, and I'll just take you to a spot that shows you. You just cut and paste your ingredients, making sure it's nice and clean, and then you click continue, and Nutritionix pulls that data in from the USDA database. You need to check it. You need to put your eyeballs on it to say, okay, do the nutrition facts make sense? Sometimes the USDA database is funny. We had an issue with avocados, interestingly, last week, but we addressed that. And then once you save it, Barbara, let me just take you here. Just going to scroll down here. You'll see here, Barbara, the meal plans. You're just going to check off those meal plans that you want this recipe to appear on. And then once you click and save it, you will be able to view that inside of your recipe box, which is here. Let me just open that up to show you. Okay, let's see. Was I not showing the right one? Hold on. I think I wasn't showing the right one. Hold on, sorry. Okay, here we go, Barbara. Sorry. You're stuck on the new client page. Thanks, Andy. Oh boy, sorry guys. All right, so if you go into the library, here we are now, right? The library, you are going to find recipe tab, entering recipes into the dashboard with Nutritionix. And it's all here. So here it is. So you're going to cut and paste your ingredients here. You're going to have Nutritionix retrieve the data from USDA. You're going to put your eyeballs on it, check it, make sure it's good. And then you're going to, it generates a nutrition facts label. And then you're going to enter your directions. And right here, Barbara, this is where you're going to be entering the meal plans that you want that recipe to be searched on. Jeremy is asking a question. With recipes, if we are taking a family recipe and putting it into recipe format, how about copyright? Meaning I'm sure that some cookbook may have it similar, but not aware of it. Is there a place to check that? Jeremy, that is a fantastic question. And you will see in the downloads here, and I even noted here, that please refer to the recipe attribution guide available as a download above. Now there's a download here. Just open this up. Just going to share this with you really quick. We give you some information on attribution and copyright. What you don't want to do is lift recipes from the internet. Now, your clients are welcome to do, your clients can do the same thing. They have a recipe box too. Your clients are welcome to do that, but you can't. You can't leverage somebody else's work and call it your own, or leverage it to grow your practice. But if you have a family recipe, you can add it. You can add an entire collection of family recipes. If you know where it's come from and you've edited it significantly, Jeremy, down here, we give you the opportunity to identify the source. So it's either your recipe, you've adapted it from somebody else's recipe and you're giving them attribution, or you have permission from somebody who has contributed that recipe. Did that answer your question, Jeremy? Barbara is saying, yes, Nutritionix makes entering recipes so much easier. Yes, sometimes there's a glitch with wording of a specific item, Barbara is saying, and that comes from when you're entering the ingredients here. If the USDA database doesn't have it represented here, you're going to see an error message and you just have to change it. So just, it is basically paste and go, but just to take a moment to put your professional eyes on it to say, does this make sense? Right? Okay, perfect. All right, on to the next question that we've been getting. The new tutorials in the masterclass. We had requests for 2 new tutorials, which are now listed in the library. So let's just go back to the library. I will share that screen. Here we are. Let's go back to the dashboard. Inside of the meal planner masterclass, there is the recipe tabs, entering recipes into your dashboard. Related to that somewhat is adding a commercial branded product. I did a new video because when you add a commercial product, you are also pulling in data from the USDA database. Now, if you have a product, let's say Good Culture cottage cheese. I love it. I would eat it probably 5 times a week. I think that is in the USDA database. So if you type it into that field that I just showed you for the ingredients, it actually might come up. So if you're doing a recipe, let's say it's cottage cheese with blueberries and walnuts, you can just type in 1 cup Good Culture cottage cheese 2%, and it might come up in the USDA database. If it can't find it, it will let you know, at which time you can add it as a custom ingredient. So I used jovial whole grain pasta as an example here. Again, this is in your library. So you can go to your library to find this tutorial. I'll just do a quick show and tell here for you. So I took this simple whole grain pasta and I'm making it more specific. I want to have my clients use jovial whole grain pasta. You need a screenshot of the product, which you can capture from the website. And then you need to enter the data from the, let me just go here, from the nutrition label. So you can see here where the little hand is pointing, it says create new ingredient. How did I get here? And this is something that practitioners struggle with. And again, to be fair, it's not totally intuitive. So that's why we do the tutorials. But you'll look where the hand is right now. If you go to where the pasta was listed or where you entered it, there's a downward caret. You want to click on that. And then there's another caret down here that will expand the current selection. Now, this is Cisco pasta whole grain, which you don't want. You want to now create jovial. So you click create new ingredient, and I walk you through the steps for grabbing the nutrition facts information and adding it to these fields. Really pretty simple. When you save it, then it will be replaced. The regular pasta will be replaced by the jovial and your recommendation. Okay. You just have to adjust the serving size. This was a very interesting exercise to go through. I did both Bonza and jovial. The serving size for the pasta was not reasonable. So I fixed it. It was like, 1 box served 6 people, not in my family. So I changed the serving size. So I made this recipe serve 4 instead of 6. So you have that ability. Hi, Kristen. Welcome. Kristen, one of our super users. Good to see you here. So you can go ahead and now, you always had the ability to add your own ingredients and your own branded products, but now it's just a lot easier. So essentially, it works very much the same as the Nutritionix integration that I just showed you, but this is specific to branded products. So you have those 2 new tutorials inside of your masterclass. All right, any other questions? Barbara, are the items in the Meal Planner Masterclass listed in date order, new info? How will we know if the topic has been updated? Oh, that's a good point, Barbara. How about I add updated? I can do that. That's great. And actually, so I'm going to make the announcement now a little bit formally, somewhat, that we're launching a new library, and we're going to be able to tag things. Every time something is updated and new, you're going to be getting an alert, which will be fantastic. But for now, Barbara, I can just do updated. I can just put updated in here. There are two updates: the recipe tab and the adding commercial branded products. Okay, does that sound good? Good point, Barbara. And that's true really for any content that we do. So if there's an update on heart health, if the new evidence is released that impacts any of the content that we have, we're going to update it and we're going to alert you in the new library. Okay, so let's just move to that upcoming library launch. So we've been sharing this with our community all along. Our existing library of content now that is housed on Kajabi. Our meal planner, that's proprietary software. So the meal planner is not going to be changing. It's going to look a little bit more modern and consistent with the new library, but all of those functions are going to remain the same, and we're going to continue to improve that. The library right now is on Kajabi. Kajabi is a course platform. It is not a content management system. So for those of you who have been with me for quite a long time, we started on Teachable and then we moved to Kajabi. Kajabi is a better experience, but it is not optimal for content management. So we needed to build our own. So we started in October. We are releasing the new library at Today's Dietitian in May. So on May 19th, the new library will be going public. Everybody will be getting plenty of information. It will be much easier to navigate. We're going to provide you with plenty of tutorials using Intercom and lots of support. So we will be communicating with you the timeline on that. But I wanted you all to know now that this experience is now going to be taken once again to another level. Everything's going to be tagged. So finding things like cooking videos, handouts, ebooks, blog posts, it's just going to be really, really simple. You can either search by topic or you can search by a tag, and you can use filters as well. We have a number of filters. Barbara is saying fabulous. Rebecca says, sounds amazing. Can't wait. You guys are the best, because you guys said you couldn't wait for Kajabi, because Teachable, we were definitely experiencing some growing pains on Teachable. And then once we got to Kajabi, everybody's like, oh my goodness, this is so great. And then, we start using it, and it was clear that we needed to have a different solution. Also, I have my intellectual property on somebody else's real estate, and that's not really the best scenario. So we knew that we needed to build this library, and my new partnership with Today's Dietitian is enabling us to invest in building this technology. So we are beginning, lots of hearts being given now. Thanks, guys. It's great. Andy's saying, oh my gosh, can't wait. That's great. I can't wait as well. It's really going to take our services to the next level. We will continue delivering the same kind of content at the same kind of pace. You're still going to be getting tons of value. It's just going to be a lot easier to navigate. All right. Terrific. Oh, hey, thank you so much, Rebecca, for that comment. All right. So library launch, that's that. And then we have two more things that I want to talk about. We are doing a mastermind. It is an in-person mastermind at Today's Dietitian. If you are interested, Hillary, I didn't give you the link for this yet. So I think what I'll do is I'll post it in the recording when we're done. If you are going to Today's Dietitian in May in Salt Lake City, or you live near Salt Lake City and you want to join this mastermind, we are hosting it. It is sponsored. These types of masterminds sell for $5,000. We're going to be loading so much value. It's going to be fantastic. People who show up are going to be getting tremendous value, and we will be there in person. It will be myself. I will also have our marketing partner, Stephanie Hoffenke from String. We'll have our whole team there, and we're going to serve up huge value. It's going to be a 3-hour mastermind. Excuse me. That's going to be followed up with accountability groups for 3 months. So you're going to be present at this mastermind. We're going to do a lot of really great work. It's called Fill Your Funnel. So we're going to be supporting everybody who's in the room with identifying first what their strategy is, right? Because the content that you create for your funnel is going to be dependent on your strategy. Where are you going to show up? Are you going to be showing up on social media? Are you going to be, do you need to do these referral forms and these community events? That's all content. And so we're going to help you kind of narrow it down and fill your funnel with all the content you need to grow your practice. And then this group is going to be together 3 more times over the next 3 months. where this is leading to is that we're going to be offering more support in this way because our community is asking for it. They want more support. They want more group programming where we can all get together. We're a very social group and we really like to support each other. Our Facebook group is phenomenal. If you are not in that group, you need to join. It's called Scale Your Nutrition Practice. So the mastermind is really just going to take that community aspect and that supportive aspect and just take it to the next level. And we're going to be able to do that within our new library really nicely for you. So if we're not going to be offering Fill Your Funnel Mastermind virtually yet, we're going to be running the program on the ground first, and then we'll probably end up offering it virtually, or maybe we'll do it around the country. I'm not really sure. I think that in-person masterminds work best because you can have really great collaboration that way. And you're also able to really focus. Like if you're in a place for 3 hours or 2 days or 3 days, like you are there for that purpose and you can make tremendous progress there. All right. Barbara says, sounds like fun. Oh, sorry. We'll miss you, Barbara, but we'll catch you next time when we come back to the East Coast. Okay. We'll do something in New Jersey. Barbara, that's a great idea. Why don't you and I collaborate on that? We're going to do something in New Jersey. I live in New Jersey. And so we could work to do like a tri-state mastermind with maybe New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, even Connecticut too, like all within driving distance. So yeah, we'll do that probably later this year. All right. So Fill Your Funnel Mastermind. If you're interested, DM me. I will also drop the sign up link here. It's an application. We're going to be taking specific types of practitioners, really just those who have been in practice. If you're brand new to practice, this mastermind is just going to be too much. Like you need to be in practice for at least 2 years. And then we ask you a bunch of other questions too to help prepare for the mastermind. All right. Next, the podcast. A lot of you don't know that we have a podcast. We do. I publish a new episode every week. And there is tons of value. I learned something from Jennifer McGurk this morning. She was my guest this week. I just dropped that podcast today. Let me show you where you can find that. So we're on Apple. And you can also go, let me just share this tab here. You can also go to Living Plate RX where our practitioners log in, but you can go to the podcast tab and scroll down. And there is a lot of content here to support you. For every episode, there's a download. So plenty of resources. If I have a guest, that guest provides us with some free content and then also links to paid programs if they have one. Episode number 46 is Run Your Practice Like a CEO. It was a beautiful conversation with Jennifer McGurk. I encourage you to watch that, to listen to that, sorry. Episode number 45, 5 tips for scheduling your content. Also valuable. That was kind of a solo podcast. And then I hosted a variety of experts. Amy Plano is for insurance-based practices, Eric Jolson for SEO. So you can just scroll there, listen when you're driving. Just really, I was just reminded this morning to just remind you all that we have a podcast because I really enjoyed, I listen to it every Tuesday morning to make sure there are no errors and make sure that the downloads work. And the conversation with Jennifer was really terrific. I think you'll get a lot of value out of that. All right. Any other questions? I think we're good. Everybody good? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Did you find today valuable? Give me a thumbs up if you found today's strategy session valuable. Remember, the biggest mistake is thinking that you have to be on social media because it's not part of your strategy. If it's part of your strategy, make sure that you get the support and you lean into that to make sure that you can drive practice growth, because that's a whole different animal. That you're going to be spending time in your DMs, you're going to be spending time having those kinds of conversations, you're going to be creating content, you're going to be doing collaborative events, which is all great if that's part of your strategy. Or you're going to be really focusing on growing your practice on the ground. And that's different. Don't spread yourself too thin. I want you to really focus. And I think this was a great conversation to have today. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Andy, Barbara, Caroline. Good to see you guys. Shaquela, great. Good to see you here. All right. Thank you so much. Next week, there is a coaching call with Karen Reiser. Watch for that email. If you are not on our email list, DM me your email so that we can get you on our email list every Friday. We send out an announcement for kind of events that are coming up. Karen hosts 2 live coaching calls every month. They are semi-private in a Zoom room. So unlike this, where I'm broadcasting to a larger group, Karen hosts smaller conversations, and she does screen shares. And if there are recurring themes that keep coming up, she'll let me know. She's like, this group wants this. And we're able to be highly responsive to what your needs are. So if you're new to Living Plate RX, that's a great place to start, is to just join a call and have Karen walk you through some of the basics. Also make sure that you hit up those master classes. And then I will see you again in 2 weeks when I host another strategy call. All right, guys, thank you so much. If you're watching the recording, make sure you tag me if you have any questions. Great to see you. Have a wonderful week.